Welcome to Flash Tutorial 69, A Christmas Snowfall, Part 1. I'm starting a new FLA, Action Script 2. The width of my stage is going to be 1100, the height 600. Click OK. Make my stage 25% so I can see it all. Call this first layer Sky, S-K-Y. Pick up your rectangle tool. I want no stroke, and it doesn't matter at this time what color the fill is. Make a rectangle. Pick up your selection tool. Highlight that rectangle. Open the properties panel and make sure this is unlocked. This little link here. Make the width 1100 and the height 600. This will match the stage size. And pick up your alignment tool. I have my alignment tool docked here. If you don't have it docked here, click Window and Alignment right there. And you'll get this panel. Make sure this button here is pressed, align to stage. Click this one, and that aligns that perfectly on the stage. Pick up your color panel, this one right here. If you don't have it, it's under Window, Color right there. And the first thing we want to do is click here and pick Radial Gradient. Make sure that the bucket is clicked here, and depending on what colors you had when you last used it will determine what these are. Click on this, double click on this one right here, this little housey looking thing. Come up here and select this dark blue right there. Double click on this housey thing, pick that dark blue again, click on it once, click on it, double click again, and it opens this color panel up. Come up to this little wheel here of color, click on it, and pull this arrow up, and I'm up to a point where the red here says 81, the green says 81, and the blue is 255. Click OK, and let's click right here somewhere close to the center again, double click, and pick that dark blue up. Click again, back up to this wheelie thing, and we want something not as somewhere around here where I got 45, 45, 255. So now I got 3 of those. I'm going to pull this one down a little bit further so I have a nice blue spot there in the middle. While I got it highlighted again, the whole thing, modify it. Click the modify button here. Convert it to a symbol. I want to run it through a filter, so you got to make it a symbol. Call this Sky, S-K-Y _MC. Make sure you select movie clip here from this menu. Click OK. So now we just made this a movie clip. So if I double click on it, I'm inside the Sky movie clip. Going to open my Sky movie clip. Up here, this is the free transform and or gradient tool. I want to pick up the gradient tool, and you know you got this funny circle that you got the gradient tool. Grab it from the center and pull it down so that the dark blue circle is a little bit further than almost 2/3 down the page. Okay, like that. Pick up the selection tool. Go back to scene 1. I got the movie clip selected still. Open this panel, properties panel. Down here there's something called filter. And down in the corner here this looks like a little page, says add filter. Click that. Click blur. And here, drop down menu, make it medium. And we're going to make some blurring on this. Make sure these two chains are closed, see that? And raise this to about 45-ish, and see how that blurs that out. I just want to move this slightly off the center for a minute, lock it, and I want to click on that stage area right there, that white stage area, open the properties panel, click on this stage, and you get that eyedropper, and grab the lightest one of them light blue colors there, close to the edge like that. So the stage is going to be this color here. Unlock this skies layer, highlight it, open up the alignment panel, and put it back to where it was. And now if we look at this, we have a nice blue background and a nice blue sky. I'm going to lock this sky layer, and I just want you to see, get some idea. We're going to now make these, see those three pieces of land. There's one here I call the back land. I call this the middle land, and this the front land. So that's what we're going to make now. We're going to start by making that back land. Insert a layer, call it land, L-A-N-D, capital B-K as in black, back. I want to pick up a white for my stroke. I want to pick up a white for my fill. And I want the rectangle tool. And I want to make a rectangle right here. So make sure you select that first layer and make a rectangle right here. Make a rectangle right here, about halfway down the page. And I'm going to now take the pencil and I'm going to draw a line just down like this. And what's important is that I cut across the edges and extend those lines. So now I can pick up my selection tool, click on that, delete that, click on that, delete that line, delete that line, delete that line, and that line. Now this is going to be much similar to what we just did. Pick up my selection tool, highlight that whole, what we call this back piece, this back land, open the color panel. This time it's going to be a linear gradient. Click the bucket, and this swab here, right up here, this one's going to be white. This one's going to be white. And let's close that down a bit so we see a little line like that. And then double click on this one up to this circle, and I want to bring this up. I got 130, 130, 255. And we'll try that. Close that off. Come up here, click on this gradient tool. Again, make sure you have the gradient tool. Click on it. It may not look the same because this is a linear gradient. Now grab this, see, I got that circles, and twist it. And I'm twisting it so I get that effect there. And now I'm going to grab it and squish it. I'm going to squish it some more. I'm going to take it back a little bit. And you're going to play around with this till you think you got what you want. I like to have some blue up in here. If you want more or less blue, then you open the panel here and move these like that. See that? Look. Using this same format, if you want, you then click on the edge here, get rid of that, and click on the edge here and get rid of that. Now you've got to make one of these for the midland, put it on its own layer, and one for the front land. So that's the back land first. Then you'd make one L-A-N-D mid, M-I-D, and one more layer L-A-N-D F-R-N as in front. and I will use the same format and I will get back to you. Okay, I have my 3 layers done. There's my back, my mid, and my front layers. Make sure all the layers are locked, and right here I want to put a little house. So we're going to go and select that top frame, that top layer, insert another layer, call it house, House, and right click. I already have it drawn, and there it is. Lock in that layer, insert in the layer, calling it trees, TREEHOUSE, as in the trees that are close to the house. Select that first frame and you're going to draw 2 trees. Now you can draw one and then replace it. That's what I did. I actually copied one and then went up to here, modify, and transform, and rotate it horizontally so it's sort of like a mirror image of that one. Now just take a look and see what we have here. That's getting good. You can separate them a little bit further apart if you want. I'll just grab this one and using my arrow key move it over a little bit, and this one move it the other way a little bit. There we go. Lock that layer, insert another layer, call it tree again, TREE, and R as in being to the right of the house. Let's make this 25% again, and I'm going to put that tree in here. Now see where it is? I don't want it to be, I want it to be behind this layer here, this front layer. So I'm going to grab this tree and pull it down and put it right there. See that? Between the back and the mid. So that puts it behind this little hill. Make sure all the layers are locked. Go to the top layer and mark this one trees, TREE, left as into the left side of the house, and make sure you select the first frame and draw 2 trees there. Now these 2 trees, you might want to make them a little bit wider than what I have. I'm back on scene 1. Make sure all the layers are locked. Selecting the house layer, inserting the layer, calling it path, P-A-T-H. And right here we're just going to draw 2 little piles of snow. I'll give you a close-up of those. And all they are is I took the my brush, my paintbrush, painted some white and some blue, and or you could use the same method that I used to make these snow banks using the color panel and the gradient tool, but just a couple of light lines, because when it gets enlarged you can barely see them. Now we want to make some smoke for the chimney, so select the house layer. They're all locked again. Insert a layer. That should have been right above the house, right there, and call this smoke, S-M-O-K-E. Select that layer. I don't want any, I'm not concerned with the stroke because I'm going to use the paintbrush, but I'm going to pick up a gray color here and my paintbrush. Going to make my stage fairly large, 200%. Get a close up of my house. And right here I'm going to draw a couple of wiggly lines, wiggly lines, wiggly lines. Then I'm going to pick up some white. Make some more wiggly lines, some more wiggly lines, going to pick up my selection tool, highlight that, modify it, convert it to a symbol, make sure movie clip is selected, call it smoke, SMOKE underscore MC. That makes it a movie clip. And if I pick up my properties panel now, it's still selected. Got this filter thing here, filter, blur it, and I got a setting of 5 and 5 and low. I don't think I can do much there. I like that. There's around 8 for me. It looks like a pretty good blur. I'm going to double click on this smoke. That puts me inside the movie clip. Going to go up to 40 frames. Insert a keyframe. So when I finish, I got the same pattern of smoke. In here around 10, insert a keyframe. And pick up the free transform tool. There's my free transform tool. And I'm just going to make that a little bit shorter, just slightly shorter. Go up to 20, insert a keyframe, make it a wee bit longer. And go to 30, insert a keyframe, make it a wee bit shorter. Oop. Make it a wee bit shorter. And click in here, classic tween, in here classic tween, and in here classic tween. Go back to scene 1, and let's give that a quick test. Just a little bit of smoke. Here, come on my chimney. Now you can play around with that, just giving you the idea. And I'm going to go back inside that movie clip and make them just a little bit more narrow with my free transfer tool. There. On a couple, I'm going to make it narrow. There. And to scene 1. And you to make this better, you could add 3 or 4 more layers and make different smokes. Like let's do one for example. I'm going to insert layer. Going to copy this. Right click, copy it. Copy all the frames, copy frames. Click here, paste the frames. And then I'm going to select all those frames. Move them ahead a bit so offsets it. So now I got 2 sets of smoke going on at the same time. Click on this one, just drag it up to there. And now remove all these frames. Now let's go have a look at that. And I'm happy with that smoke. That's enough for this video. There will be a follow-up. It'll be Flash Tutorial 70, A Christmas Snowfall Part 2. Make sure you save the FLA. I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learned.